Love in the Universe, or And So On, or something like that. A short story by Mitchell Marinello. 1. This next one is for my fans. Thank you, sincerely, for your love and support. Peace to all mankind. I clapped my hands together and bowed my head. The crowd roared. I was a rock god. I rose from my bow and placed my hands on the neck of my shiny acoustic guitar. This next one's called Love in the World, I said in a smooth, creamy, wanna do it kind of voice. The women in the crowd began screaming even louder. I strummed the opening chords to my latest hit single. There's lots of love, 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 love in the world. That's why I'm loving, 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 loving the world. And so on. Where did the breasts in the crowd begin and my imagination end? I opened my eyes, and I was back in my bedroom, strumming an open G major. There weren't a lot of places to play out in Beaverton, so I mostly played to myself alone in my bedroom. I didn't mind. I was happy at home. On the other hand, this new song was even greater than my last one, Happy Peace Feeling. I was sure of it. This was even stronger. I could feel it. But, more importantly, my lunch break was over, and after a short drive, I was back at work looking at numbers and adding and subtracting them, and yes, sir, double correlated. Damn, it's jammed again, huh? Let's get Mike to take a look at it. And, oh, you going out for coffee? Can you pick me up a double white frappe? I'll pay you back, thanks. And so on until the end of the day when I clocked out, drove home, poured half a can of Bud Light into a glass, drank half of that with a microwave dinner, and went to bed. By the time I woke up, it was Tuesday, and I was still singing Lovin' the World. Now just to figure out what comes after the love in the world part, I thought to myself. But those eggs weren't going to crack themselves into the pan. After breakfast, it was work and chores and so on until it was Friday. The weekend. This is why we work, I thought again as I clocked out again. I went back to Fred's Cafe. This time I ordered a plain coffee. Heidi wrote my name on the cup and handed it to me, smiling professionally as always. If only she knew. A Swedish barista living in Oregon. She was so intensely the object of my affection. At least I think she was Swedish. Maybe Austrian? Well, American customers like me pined for her with an Italian lust. If only she knew the loving multitudes that existed within my poetic soul. But, alas, and for naught. I merely smiled back and asked for cream. For shizzle, she replied in that cute foreign way of hers. As our hands made contact, it was like the cream of an angel passed through her fingers and into mine. I would remember this moment forever, perhaps immortalize it in song. All the more poetic, her flat tone of voice. I sat down and took out my computer. I waited patiently for the little Wi-Fi symbol to pop up and indicate that it recognized the password, and then I skimmed some articles posted by the New York Times and thought, troubling stuff, and what do the memes have to say about it, and hilarious, and so on until I went home. Saturday morning, I went back to Fred's Cafe and smiled at some of the faces in the small English language circle from Portland Community College that gathered around the couches every week at 10 a.m. The two Japanese women stood up and bowed back at me as always. I had tried to speak with them a few times, but the communication had always gone poorly. I couldn't understand them, and they couldn't understand me. But still, what a polite and respectable culture, I thought once more. If only their English were better. Perhaps we might talk a bit of politics or business. And it's a shame we Americans are so unsophisticated. And if only I could speak another language, and so on until I decided that it was time to go home and do some laundry, sweep the floor, really get into the nooks and crannies with a rag and so on until Sunday, when I was scheduled to meet my family for church. We didn't believe in it all too much, but we were happy to go. They're just nice stories, we say to each other. It's not like we have anything against other religions, and everyone is entitled to their own beliefs, and you just gotta have faith, and so on until we die. Then we all go out for dinner at the Olive Garden. And like that, it was Monday again. By the time it was Monday again, I knew the next line would be something, something, something. Boys and girls, or something like that. But that Monday against Saturday was very different. Oh, yes, very different indeed. I remember it very clearly because I was wearing a red shirt that I really like, one with a nice blue pocket, when usually on Saturdays I wear one without a pocket and a black hat and khakis, so I looked very casually presentable sitting at the table getting some weekend work done when aliens started talking to me. Look, I can't tell you how I knew they were aliens or how they were talking to me or such stuff, but they were talking to me in perfect Pacific Northwestern. And from the looks on the faces of the women from the English circle, it wasn't just me they were speaking to. They had certainly done their homework. The aliens, I mean, I think the women just spoke English as a hobby. This is what Wikipedia later said people paraphrased, they said. People of Earth, do not be alarmed. Please, for a moment, rest, rest, contemplate. Your mind is not deceiving you. This is indeed what your species has dubbed contact with intelligent life. Rest. We mean no harm. Indeed, we are ambassadors of interstellar peace. We are here to address a pressing matter of grave importance. As such, we are addressing those Earthlings capable of processing this message directly. Humans, tardigrades, and the anal lice of the bonobo. There is among you one being so mightily important and of such great significance to the fate of the universe that to shun contact with this great and highly mighty entity even a moment longer is to endanger the very underpinning of our fragile cosmos. We request that you send this individual to your moon no less than 1 Earth month from now. We fear that this human's mind, and this mind alone, is capable of surviving physical proximity with our kind. We beseech thee, O noble people of Earth, to send us the one you call Zach Tyler Graham, currently located in what the Americans call Beaverton, Oregon. At this point, I should probably mention that my name is Zach Tyler Graham. I've always just gone by Zach, though, even though I have 3 first names to choose from. But after that very different Saturday, all the people in the news just used my full name. I wish they would have just said Zach, because at that point everyone knew me anyway, but whatever. I was in a really dark van about 40 minutes after talking to aliens for the first time, and that van was very quiet. I wondered about my laundry and so on. I had never guessed that it was going to happen, but I wasn't surprised that aliens had come for me. I had always felt like I was pretty great. This great? Wow, no, but pretty great. Come to think of it, this was probably about loving the world. Yeah, I had tapped into something so potent and powerful that the galaxy, that's the biggest thing in the universe, I think, right? Stopped to turn to me. No one asked me any questions in that van, though. We just kept driving and they kept looking at me all bug-eyed and stuff, but all the better. I wasn't about to tell any of the men in that van my big secret. I was gonna wait for... And just who the hell are you? Asked the mother effing president of the mother effing United States about 3 hours later. Now that's what Zacky's talking about. Wouldn't you like to know? I grinned. Zach Tyler Graham. You're a bumfuck from Nowhereville with a BA in accounting, seemingly a PhD in what the fuck studies, so you tell me, in your professional opinion, what the fuck. Did he rehearse that beforehand? I thought. Did someone write that for him and tell him to say it? It was good. Very quippy. With effort, I lowered one eyebrow and raised another while leaning forward in my seat and sighing heavily. I have reason to believe that I am a rock god from the 7th plane of Jam Nation. I don't think I need to tell you the importance of that. He paused dramatically and looked out the tinted window, possibly breathing in how awesome and cool I was. That makes perfect sense. Really? I thought. Really? I said. No, not really, you piece of shit, he said, snapping his head back into the interior of the limo. Oh, okay, well, that was just an idea I had, like rock gods and stuff in a world where everything is musical and there's a prophecy, and I don't know what you're fucking pulling here, but I'll find out, he snapped again. Sir, I started. I knew no more than you of the aliens, alleged aliens. Yes, alleged aliens, but I think I know why they came. At that, he too leaned forward. And? Well, for my awesome tunes. I mean, you gotta hear this stuff. He looked very angry, and how the hell did they communicate with us? And you expect me to believe you? And so on until it was Monday again. 2. The frequencies of our mountain range are deep and distant, nestled somewhere in some shadowy pocket of the cosmos, distant from Earth. Their peaks and troughs run through each other, rampant, cool, and fierce, bleeding sorrow and joy, resolution and anguish. Though they run a finite length of time or distance, no one thing would or could ever reach their end, as before finally reaching one penultimate peak, the rivers dancing between were to have taken new hold, creating new form, ultimately similar, but never the same. 7 steps climb to the penultimate peak of Mount Cyclus, and to each step there is a major. Ionius, chief of these 7, was addressing a hall of common triads in intervals. They were speaking of trivial, mundane matters when a young triad broke through the grand door. Thunder and rain fell behind the triad. Echoes bounced off the marble dome overhead. See, cried the 3 heads. The cry echoed. It rang. Many songs were to be heard in the crowd then, of worry and excitement, each to the same tempo, all set out by the cry. Speak it, young triad, and be quick to it, boomed Ionius. Keeping in pace, the young thing began hurrying forward to the small pool at the center of the rotunda. As it did, a hollow, 3-stringed instrument was rising upright from the depths of the pool. Eyes and ears fell heavy through the assembly. The echoes of each footstep reached that hymnal partition. No gaseous molecule rested then. Each wobbled its part of the dance. Above and ahead of the triad sat Ionius, his hair flowing to his shoulders, his body robed in white, his hands clutching electricity. The triad clutched the instrument and quickly brought it to the center of its mass. Presently, it began a solemn, upbeat, instrumental introduction. One head sliding itself on the strings, another banging itself against the hollow body, and the third plucking the strings with its teeth. The surface of the water showed at first only the usual synesphorias, which were to be found in general partition. But as the triad's lyrics broke to their intended audience, their grave meaning was shown upon the rippling, dancing pool. The lyrics were broken into trisyllabic groupings, and each voice sang its turn. For there is an ancient, one mired, deep in consequence cause, mid-tide skull, lie in it, broken by none not Roy, whole not prince but for destiny is its fate. and so on. Sometime later, the seven majors were discussing the implications of this epic. "We know not what we must," lamented Locrius. "But the prophecy is just," insisted Ionius. "What shall be done?" demanded Dorius. "We shall seek this one," pragmatized Phrygius. Lydius listened. "I agree," moved Mixolydius. "So shall it be," agreed Aeolus. "But how?" inquired Ionius. "This now know I not," answered Aeolus. "But where you lead, I will follow." "Brother, you truly are my shadow," indulged Ionius. Then, turning to the others, "Aeolus and I shall seek it out." "Who here shall lead in this bout?" pressed Phrygius. "It is a ready-made dilemma," allowed Aeolus. "Is there not harmony in this rotunda?" inquired Ionius. Of course there is," chimed the chorus. "And so will it remain. Aeolus, we shall travel by waveform, for we must travel a great many peaks and troughs before we reach our crescendo. Let the preparations go underway." 3. Sing it again. Luca Schmidt was a European something scientist with a receding hairline and glasses. I had played some of my best songs for him, each more times than it looked like he could handle. He seemed very tired and frustrated. Must have been jealous. "You want to hear Happy Peace Feeling again?" I smiled. "Yes." "All right. Happy, happy peace feeling. Happy, happy peace feeling." And so on. After I finished, he touched some buttons on a machine that looked really complicated. Then he said, "Play it again." So I did. A couple of times, actually. This was great, finally getting the recognition I deserved. But even I get tired after a while, so I asked if we were done. "Yes." "Great. Say, hey, mind if I get on the internet?" Luca whispered something to a big guy in a big suit standing behind him. "Fine." "Great." He slid an iPhone across the table and I started surfing the webs. Mostly I like to watch YouTube. I wish I could watch all the channels I like, but I remember to like and subscribe still. So many things to watch, so little time, am I right? I watched some videos posted by these guys who do really cool trick shots, even though I think they stop the camera a lot, and some funny videos by some funny websites, and some funny videos posted by some funny late night shows and so on until I was ready to sleep with a smile on my face. Life was good. It was Monday. I spent the next week playing my songs for Luca and watching YouTube. I caught up on a lot of crazy, wacky channels and read some important business articles and such. They fed me spaghetti and meatballs, my favorite, that day, Monday, and the next Monday. "Zach, you are going to the moon 1 week from today." "Cool." I focused back down on the iPhone they were letting me use. "Don't you have questions?" "Well, I'm not really a science guy, so I figured you guys will take care of it." "Well, Zach, there will be significant physiological factors, and we need you to pay attention, and there are significant costs involved, and you don't understand the pressure on us, and the president has come to understand that you are a complete and utter," and so on until it was 1 week from then. I'm not really sure what physiological means. "Zach," Luca said to me. "Yes," I replied. "What are you hiding from me?" he asked. Nothing, bud. I'm just doing me." "Yes, you've said that many times, but no matter how I probe it, that song is just..." He trailed off. "You can't handle it. It's okay, bud." He sighed. "I've been respectful to you up to this point, but scientifically, you need to know that scientifically there's nothing significant to any of your music. Simple wave oscillations through air originating from your guitar. And frankly, in my personal opinion, it's boring, Zach. Nothing new to it. Nothing interesting. You have to know that. We looked at each other, him frowning and thoughtful, me happy and careless. You'll see. I smiled because it seemed like the thing to do. Luca seemed very smart, but he didn't seem very happy. Did seem so, at least. And then, a little while later, someone somewhere pressed a button and I was shot into space on a big spaceship all by myself. Wow, I sure am an important person, I thought, somewhere above a cloud shaped like a bunny. I know a lot of people want to be astronauts when they grow up, but unfortunately, I'm not too interested in stars or space all that much, so I made sure to bring a couple magazines and other stuff like that. They told me I would have to be in that ship for like 3 days just to get there, which is like such a long time to just not have something to do. There were lots of video monitors with people saying things and telling me how to do stuff and food and things like that, but the next day was boring, so I decided that I would look out the window. Might as well look at the pretty stars. And that is when it hit me. This wasn't about love in the world. It couldn't have been. Look at all of those stars, I thought. There's so much stuff out there. It would be absolutely crazy of me to think, even for 1 second, that all of this would be about some song I wrote called Love in the World. I started panicking. What have I been thinking? How could I be so stupid and misguided to even get that idea into my head? Why would aliens be interested in that? So I got to work. Of course, having talked to Luca about the necessity of having it on the ship with me, I walked over to the place where they had stored the acoustic guitar. there's lots of love in the universe. That's why I'm loving the universe. And so on. Much better. 4. Aeolus, my brother, inquired Ionius. Are you ready? Yes, my major, I am, answered Aeolus. Ionius turned to face the procession of demigods and demons gathered on that peak of the frequencies. In the troughs below, triads and intervals gathered and looked on, dancing and dying, crying and laughing, their songs played for and lost by the wind. The overtones floated around overhead, flirting with one another, painting the sky to soft gold as they fluttered around. No two were the same, but each was an overtone, and each danced with the others. By waveform we go now, my relatives, Ionius boomed. In the age of our absence, there will be many tales told between you, many relationships explored. In the age of our absence, what songs shall you sing? He paused to look around. Uncertainty, such is the nature of our world. But as all great cycles promise, we shall someday return, perhaps old and haggard, but always bearing new fruit for a new song. Stomping began about the conductor's call. Keep pace and stay true to your song, chanted the mass as one voice made of many. Ionius began a long, drawn, ominous tone. Dorius followed, vocalizing just above him. Phrygius followed, strumming a lyre. Each major did their part, as was the order of the thing. The overtones above and below danced back at each part in turn. The extensive intricacies of this arbitrary ritual served only to complement the simple elements of truth about which the sounds of the frequencies were organized. Ionius banged his electric sticks together. Aeolus plucked at his heartstrings. They were not physical beings anymore, only ideas transmitted by waves. Waves that traveled away from the frequencies and the odd collection of sonic creatures with their strange way of talking and strange song and dance routine at the speed of information in a vacuum. Now, these things appear strange to a human, But of course, the universe need not bend to human cognition. Human cognition is a strange aspect of some cosmic backwater, distant from the frequencies. 5. Now, Zach, do you see the big, shiny, red button? Asked Luca's voice in my ear. Sure do, I said. I didn't hear him say anything for a couple seconds. Was he still mad about whatever he was talking about when please press it? Sure thing, I replied. I pressed it, and then waited again. Man, Lucas sure is good on our end. You should notice that the door is opening. Sure is, I said. Please step outside. Our imaging is confirming that the alien vessel is approaching you. I'm gonna meet aliens. How cool is this, Luca? The implications are being felt in myriad ways here on Earth, Zach, ranging from wonderment to chaos and all the existential musings you would expect in between those two poles. It's a big deal, Zach. Not aptly described as cool. So I will give a sympathetic voice to the optimistic spirit you are exercising. Okay. What? Are you out of the landing pod? I was. I was on the moon. You know, I didn't know for sure that there are a lot of stars to see when you're on the moon. All the pictures I saw of the moon before this didn't have any stars in them. Some guy at work was telling me that's how they knew the old pictures were fake or something, because there were no stars in them, but I didn't understand it before. Now I could see the stars, and so I knew he was right. Whoa, we faked the moon landing, and I'm gonna meet aliens. Wait, Luca asked me something. Yep. Good. Now, one last thing, pay attention. I will be listening into this conversation to the best of my ability. It may kill me. It may destroy me. Simply, I do not know. A choice team has volunteered for this. And Zach, please listen, because this is important. In the case of my death, I want you to know that, though I don't know why you have been sought out, it is nonetheless a great honor to me that a member of my species has the potential to play an important role on the cosmic stage. To this end, I wish you good luck. Cool, I replied. Now, let's let history underway, shall we? A big black triangle-shaped ship blocked my view with some of the pretty stars and landed just ahead of me. Cool! I see them. Cool! I said. We know, Lucas said. For a couple seconds, I just waited there on the moon. Then the door slowly opened, and I mean slowly. Long enough to think about how famous I was going to be after this, and how I could write a book about it, and how there's no way I won't be able to get with Heidi now, and so on until the two aliens made their way from their ship down to the floor of the moon. They looked really alien-y, not human at all. Oh, great aliens, I said. Welcome to Earth. I mean, the moon, and I will now sing for you the song that you came here for, I think, and stuff like that. There's lots of love, and so on. Once I was done, I bowed. There was a bit of silence. Then one said, "Holy shit. This is amazing," said the other. "I can't believe they actually sent him," the first replied. I felt very happy with myself. "Would you like to hear another one?" I asked. One made noises that sounded a lot like laughing. The other said, "Yeah, of course, please, oh mighty human, please play us another one of your wonderful songs, yeah." Then he started laughing too. What happy aliens, I thought. So I sang Happy Peace Feeling, and Good Times, and Doopity Doopity Doop Yay, and Love in the Universe Again, and so on, and they were laughing the whole time. How nice and kind of them to have such great time listening to my nice, great music. Wow, you guys really like this stuff, huh? I was laughing too. "No, you fucking idiot," said the alien on the left. That shit sucks hard, bro. You are such a major fag, said the alien on the right. Man, for real, you are a total fag. Like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but your music is like some real gay shit. Just saying, brah. Well, that was certainly unexpected and rude, I thought. You know what? Actually, maybe they just don't understand English that well. So I replied, "Oh, you sound confused. When we call someone fag, it means, yeah, we know what it means, douchebag. Like we're fucking aliens who can broadcast directly into the brain of every person on your stupid little gay planet in their native tongue simultaneously. We know what fag means." Oh, maybe they didn't know how offensive that word could be to some people. So I tried to explain it to them, but they said that although the word has previously carried and currently carries multiple different meanings and uses, that they were specifically using the provocative, politically charged version of the word to denigrate my standing even further, and so on, until I forgot what we were talking about. Oh, wait, they didn't like my music. But wait, if they didn't like my songs, why was I there? So I tried to write a poem and told them an idea for a movie I had and my ideas on current politics and recent business deals and so on, and they kept calling me fag and so on. Well, I'll be darned if they aren't being the darndest, I thought. So, uh, why did you ask me to come here? Because it's fucking hilarious, man, one of them replied. Yeah, and we were bored. And we ran out of my dad's space drugs, so we thought, why not fuck with some stupid little fucking planet? And yeah, that was a real good decision. Totally fucking worth it. Dude, wait. Yeah? Why'd you call them space drugs? Huh? Like, for him, we're from space. But for each other, we're just like bros, man. Yeah, but my dad got them in space, bro, so they were space drugs. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Cool, so anyway, this fucking guy over here, am I right? One of them asked, gesturing some part of his super weird alien-y body towards me. Totally, man. Cool, so anyway, yeah, this fucking guy over here, am I right? Totally, man. Well, you know what? I thought. You think you're so great, huh? I started. Better than me? Well, fine. Maybe you are. And maybe you can do some stuff I can't. And maybe I'm no more special than anyone else. But then are you? That was the smartest I'd ever felt in my whole life. Calling myself an idiot. Luca later told me he was proud of me for that moment, if for nothing else. Well, I hate to break it to you, Brosif, but we don't care. Yeah, like, at all. See, stupid little aliens like you evolved in such a way that you have awareness of your mortality without the instinctive predisposition not to give a fuck. Like, we couldn't care even if we cared. Fag. But, I started. Bruh, give it up. But, I started. Bruh, give it up. Like, can't you just accept that you're a little fucking piece of shit? Wait, how do they know what shit is? I thought. Alright, bro, seriously? It's crazy you haven't realized we can read your fucking mind. We shit like everything else in the universe. Jesus fucking Christ. Ah, so they know who Jesus is. Then surely what his life meant to the world. Fuck, bro, you are a stupid little bipedal. Obviously that fucker doesn't matter either, one interrupted. And don't you, let me get this straight, believe he was the direct son of the creator of the universe? The other asked me. I mean, well, yeah, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, I replied. But I don't take it all that seriously. They laughed some more. So, let me get this straight. You think God exists, right? Yeah, don't most people? I replied. And God is like supremely good and all knowing, and he made your world for your species, right? Yeah. And if you believe in that idea and follow the tenets which follow, you'll go to some perfect place where everything is perfect all the time. Yeah. But if you don't, then you get tortured for eternity, right? Yeah, but I told you I don't take it all that seriously. Oh, Jesus. Fucking crazy little alien, this one. Crazy little fucking alien. Dude, totally. Anyway, should we get out of here then?
Yeah, man, I think it's about time. All right, hey, little Earth bro, thanks for coming out. Yeah, enjoy your existential crisis.
With that, they started to move over to their ship, very alienly. Wait, I yelled. That's it? They turned back to me.
Yeah.
They turned away again. Okay, I said. Turn the other cheek. Forgive and forget, right? But inside, I was mad. Madder than ever. And confused and unsure and upset and scared and sad. And at least I'm not so rude. And what am I going to tell Luca? And what does this mean for Jesus? And generally, what? And I can't believe I thought it was a rock god, and so on, until they had finally gotten in their ship and lifted off. I could see the stars again. 6. The Space Bros spoke as they traveled home.
That Earth creature had some fantasies, huh? Yeah, I saw them too. A little like that planet. What's it called? Jam Nation? Do you know it? With the huge mountain range called the Frequencies? Yeah, actually. Yeah, I thought that too, but not as intricate or compelling. Yeah. Yeah, like Jam Nation is actually an interesting place that affects change on a scale attributable to at least its local cluster. It's crazy that you know the frequencies too. Yeah, shot in the dark, huh? Little fucker. Thinking it's as important as the rock gods of Jam Nation. Yeah, it's weird that it had fantasies similar to a planet we both happen to know, though. Yeah, I kind of thought about it, though. Think of it like this. We both know how big the universe is, like how many planets there are with intelligent life, etc., etc. Okay, so follow me here. With the experimental condition of any given consciousness having imagined alien life, then it would be far more likely for that imagined life to somewhat resemble, or very nearly resemble, a truly extant species somewhere in the universe, considering, at the very least, the size of the universe and the likelihood of life evolving. Furthermore, you and I happen to live in the same obviously tiny part of the universe and interact very frequently, so the odds of us knowing many of the same planets and their respective intelligences are significantly high. The only coincidence therein, bro, is not that the human had happened to imagine life that somewhat resembled life on a real planet, but that that planet was relatively nearby one of the other life systems in close proximity to the humans, namely our own. Factor in the fact that life systems in close proximity to each other tend to overlap, and you can see that this scenario is highly more likely than that of the human simply imagining life that somewhat or significantly resembles life merely in relative physical proximity to its own. The present situation is still highly improbable, but the chances are not zero. Coincidences happen all the time. There's no need to invoke purpose from them. Totally, bro. That's exactly what I was thinking. Fag.
7. Ionius and Aeolus had not yet reached their goal. To them, no instant had yet passed since leaving Jam Nation. And yet, they were arriving too. Waves are curious like that. A story in an instant, a life born turbulent and unclear. All lives, however, clearly end. Ionius and his shadow would be, were being, had not yet been, recast in the same shape and form, in the same dimensions and aesthetic glory or lack thereof. They knew where they would end their journey, and anyone observing them travel as beam or wave through the silent hollow space between their destination and point of origin could project the distant end to their distant tail. And that's really all it ever was, a distant tale. One that would never move humanity, neither with its peaks nor its troughs, not with its sadness nor its laughter, nor any unclear feeling which lay at some fuzzy intersection between those two subjective extremes. This, I fear to say, is where the story of these two noble beings ends in relation to you. They have a journey, a fantastical story to dictate, but it will never come to you. You are like me, a strange, imperfect observant of a universe which lies breathless and non-responsive to any bellow, tantrum, or love song I levy its way.